What is it that I'm concerned about that keeps me from wanting to be a participant in it right now? And what would take me completely out of the game for Forex? Because right now I'm just taking a hiatus from it. I'm not trying to participate in it. I'm engaging it for analysis purposes, but I'm not actively placing live money in Forex right now. So I'm with real money in futures index trading. That's real money going behind that. If these are going to be subject to a global reset, and there's talks about each country having a digital currency, I think that's just going to be the final step before they all come together and say, you know what, it's just better if we just come to an agreement that we're going to just use one currency. That kills Forex. Now, as long as that doesn't happen, Forex will exist. There will be opportunities in Forex. But here is the concern I had. This is the thing that I'm paying a great deal of attention to and why I'm not willing to put my money at risk in it. Years ago, there was a depegging from the euro and Swiss franc. And when that happened, and you've heard me mention this before in passing, there is no safety net for you. There's no safety net for me. And stop losses will do nothing to protect you because it reprices hundreds and thousands of points instantly. No one in financial institutions, brokerage firms, hedge fund managers, they were all made insolvent, bankrupt, and they don't exist anymore. When that one event happened, and it was depegged, it was instantaneous murder. I see that coming. I see that coming not just for one currency, but potentially all of them. I don't want to be in something like that. I can't sleep at night knowing that I could be in a move where I have no control or escape mechanism or means of mitigating risk or reducing it to a measurable risk that I'm willing to take on as a speculative position. Now, I don't have that fear or concern with the equities market. Now, is that to assume that I don't think that they can have a crash or a sudden drop? They can, absolutely can. But I don't think that's as likely as the currencies. Think about it. And I honestly believe that Bitcoin will go to zero. I wasn't, pulling your chain or anything. I honestly believe it will. And here's the reasons why. I'm going to say this soberly so that way you understand my opinion on it, and you're welcome to agree with it. I've had people come at me aggressively in email saying, you're wrong, I'm going to laugh at you, whatever. Laugh, I don't care. I don't have anything in the race. That means that my opinion is more objective than those that have money into it. So you need it to work. You need it to exist. I could care less. And I called moves in it, up and down. But here's the logic as the reason why I believe it's going to go to zero. And I believe all the current coins are going to go to zero. It's going to have that mechanism that people have faith in, but they have to have sacrifices. The sacrificial lambs that have to come in and say, okay, we learned our lesson with this coin and that coin and this one and that one. And something has to die off to evolve. There has to be a catalyst to institute change. And that has to come by pain. It can't be done gradually. It can't be a slow transition to, hey, there's a better coin. Let's all leave the ones we have our money in and go into this one. It has to be shock and awe. That's what they're all being herded into. When I say all asset classes are being treated this way. Because if they really are going to pull this great reset off, there is no safe haven. Even equities, commodity prices are going to be the only thing that are going to be real. And they're going to probably be hyperinflated next year. So ultimately, I think you need to prepare yourself for things just not being anything like normal. Trading's going to probably get real difficult for a period of time. And as long as you have that in your head, knowing that this is likely to happen, you won't lose your mind when it occurs. And you'll be patient and wait for things to unfold. Go through it. Because you're not going to stop it. I can't stop it. I have no solution or any alternative means of speculating. That's why I'm going to where I started. I'm back at my roots. See, you think I'm just a Forex guy. That's just what I'm known for. I spent the majority of my teaching in the last 12 years or so specifically dealing with Forex. But in 1992, I started as a commodity trader. And I've been teaching really since 1996. Now, if things develop in a way where maybe these central bank digital currencies that all of these countries are talking about doing, that might bring a short period of excitement in Forex as a result of all those types of things. And then obviously I'll be back in there, going ham on Forex pairs. But until we get through this round of elections, because I could really go on a tinfoil hat exposition here and just go in like you would never understand why I had all these opinions on just one conversation. It would have to take, discussions after discussion. Because if I say the things I want to say, some of you will have 1,000 questions, or you'll come away from this one thinking, okay, he's not really tightly wrapped. And some of you probably think that now anyway. It's okay. But I just believe that it's better for me in my personal finances. If I'm going to assume risk, I would prefer to be in something I trust and where I think the moves are predictable and less likely to have adverse, sudden collapses. And that's a black swan event. When I tweet or talk about that, or I mention it in video, we're in black swan season, meaning that something is on the horizon, off in the distancing, where we can't really know what direction it's coming from, but I know it's going to be in currencies. How can it not be? Think about it. And if this global reset is to be believed, what's their agenda? What's the reason for them to want to do it? It comes down to control. Control the number, control the money, period. It's got to be a number of people that they can manage, and there's too many of us right now. And a lot of people look at what we do as a means of income, and they do. They run their own businesses through speculation. Some of them do better than others. Some of them do exceedingly well. So if there's going to be a global reset and the agenda is control, and how do they control people? Food, which is why I told everybody a year and a half ago that food would be weaponized. And look around, folks. If it ain't happening in your area, give it some more time, because it will. And the other thing is money. Control the peoples in all of the countries. Control the population. Instill fear. What's the easiest way to instill fear? Making it impossible to feed your kids. Fill your hungry belly. Make your ends meet. Pay your bills. So if that's true, and this is what they're trying to do, and there's going to be a global reset, currencies by default is at the top of the list. And I know the crypto space believes in their heart that the coins that they have in their possession right now, if you want to call it that, is the solution. That's the answer. That's the solution coin. If not, at least good old Bitcoin will be. And I don't believe it's going to be. Now, does it go straight down to zero in a complete, just free fall? Obviously, I would be foolish to say, no, that can't happen, because it could happen. But I believe it's going to keep making lower lows, and these short-term little rallies that get everybody thinking the bottom's in, and you'll see all these guys come out and they're cheerleading. Yeah, it's going up. It's going to the moon. They do that in all markets. So that way people will do what? Buy it, put stops underneath the lows. Because right now there is no liquidity down there. One has their stop down there below the low that just recently was made. Nobody has their stop loss under there until they create a rally and more people buy. Or they go down to that low again, revisit it, and fail to break the lower, then rally it. And it makes everybody think it's a 1, 2, 3 bottom, or a double bottom, or a failed swing. And then when they buy that, they put stop losses under there. That's all engineering liquidity. That's exactly what I explained at 20,000. And it happened. And you're going to keep seeing that. You might see a little bit larger intermediate term. Look at your daily chart on Bitcoin. There's a big old gap. I think it might go up into that a little bit. But I don't look at that and think, oh, it's going to 50 and 60,000 and then 100,000 Bitcoin. No, it's just to get you suckers in here to buy it and put stop losses that don't exist yet. And then they're going to run it down there deeper. Why would they want to do that? Because they're heavily short. They're heavily short. And to get out, they got to have what? Somebody willing to sell it to them lower than the market is right now. And you get that by having sell stops engineered. That's market making 101, folks. And if you don't understand that, you sure as hell shouldn't be in the market with real money. So you can stop sending me emails. Okay. I've had so many emails pushed to me. Are you saying that Bitcoin this and Bitcoin that? I don't want to talk about Bitcoin, but I have so many students that are losing their minds right now. Understand, this is a reminder. I do not trade. I have never traded. I don't own any coins. I'm not secretly fading anything. I'm not trying to, create fear so that way everybody sells their coins and I buy them up. Like, I've had some serious nutters send me emails thinking I'm got an agenda behind all this stuff. I just don't want you to get hurt. When I thought it was going to go up, folks, I told you, I'll tell you when it's going to go to 20,000. I told you when it was going to go to 30,000. It happened. I said it was going to go to 50, 52, 62 is about to get it. I don't see it going higher than that. And it just fell short of 70. And where's it at now? I only talk when I know strongly that this is likely to occur. So I'm telling you, I think it's going to go to zero. Is it going to happen today? By the end of the year? I don't know that timing. But it's not exempt. See, you want to believe the fairy tale that you're going to get around the central banks. You're not. You're not. They own everything. They own everything. The conglomerates, the brands. You like Ford? They own that. They own that too. Oh, but Tesla, Elon Musk, he's something different. No, he's part of it. Yeah. See, y'all think you got a choice. You don't have a choice. It's an illusion. These people have a part. They're all part of the same theater act. And that is unfavorable of a viewpoint to most people. They can't believe it. They can't see it because that would be diabolical. And that's what we live in, a diabolical world. See, these people, and there's not many of them, very small group of people, but these people own everything. And what I'm seeing coming, I'm alarmed. And you should be alarmed too. Not panicking, not freaking out, losing your sleep and such, but you should be taking initiatives that lead to reducing risk because it's going to get parabolic. Not just in the States, but everywhere. Because if this thing is really going to unfold and they're going to try their damnedest to make sure it does, currencies, whether it becomes effective globally, that there's a reset, or whether it's attempted to be done, currencies will be untradeable. How long, I don't know. But because I don't know that, is it fit for me to put millions of dollars behind speculating in that asset class? Not knowing what's likely to occur, but knowing that it's not going to be good. That's going to be adverse conditions. So some of you that are only trading Forex are thinking to yourself, what the hell? What am I supposed to do? Just be careful. Don't trade with large leverage. Look at it this way. Imagine whatever you're trading moves 500 pips in one tick. What would that do to your account? If it wipes you out, you're trading too big. Oh, but I can't get rich. This is not the time to get rich. How many times you got to be told? If we see multiple currencies have like a Euro, Swissy depegging event, that would be the end of me trading Forex forever. I would never touch it again. So that way you understand. I get a lot of questions. What would it take for me to not want to trade Forex ever again? Right now, I want to trade Forex, but right now I know that it's a rattlesnake right now. It's shaking its tail, and you knew that sound. You probably never had a rattlesnake in front of you, but guess what? If you had your eyes closed and you were taking steps in an unknown path, and you start hearing that, you're not wanting to walk anymore. Immediately, you got a picture of a rattlesnake coiled up right now in your mind. Everybody understands what that sound is. Well, I'm looking at Forex, and it's making that sound to me. So I don't want to walk into something knowing full well, and I've publicly made this known now, that I'm likely to be a victim of such a sudden repricing that stop losses will not help you. Period. So you have to, if you're a speculator, if you're an investor, you got to go to where an asset class that makes the most sense. And right now, it's stock index futures. You have to study. You got to pour into this everything. Do it for a year. It's 1 year, folks. 1 year. Why a year? Because you're going to see all the seasonal influences that take place over the full calendar year. That's experience. That's a perspective that you cannot appreciate until you see it. Then you have that going into the next year. And if you journaled, you compare and contrast. When you start a new month, okay, what did I experience last September? What did I experience last October? And what was it like the last 3 weeks of December? And what was it like in January? You're going to have something as a baseline, and you do that every single year. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. Once you have consistency, let me tell you something, what's never going to happen. You're never going to want to talk about what you're doing to some family anymore. You're not going to want to do that because you're going to know right away, these people work. And there's nothing wrong with working, folks. But working folks don't like to see other people get out of that livestock pen. They don't want to be champion somebody else, because that would be like taking energy and directing it to someone else to do well instead of directing it to themselves and for them to do well. So why are you surprised? They're indoctrinated. You're not going to wake them up. You're not going to stir them up by you telling them that you're going to work your ass off and you're going to learn how to do this and you're going to speculate way more income potential than any other job that you would ever fall into or get degrees with. It ain't never going to be compared. It isn't going to be in the same vicinity, the neighborhood, the zip code. You're not going to. What's stopping you? You have it now. It's done. It's on those videos. Study it. You got to work for it. It doesn't mean I watch the videos, therefore I should know. No, you watch the videos and I tell you what you should be looking for. Then you have to do the work. You have to do that. If you fail, I did not fail you. You failed you. Own it, man. Own it. I failed myself for the first few years until I realized I'm the problem. And then when I realized what those issues were that I was struggling with, perfection. I didn't want to lose ever. I felt that there was a way for me to trade and never have a losing trade. There is a way to trade with a high degree of accuracy, but it requires you to trade very selective. I just taught you that. You use the economic calendar. High impact, medium impact news events, period. Times of day, days of the week, and seasonal influences. This is the really real. This is the stuff that I needed to know and hear and be reassured that, guess what? Just because everybody else around didn't believe I was going to be able to do this, that I was going to fail. Listen, I'm a simple person that so many people around the world know my name because I persevered. And I saw it and cried to the Lord and asked him, please, please open my eyes so I can see this. And if you do that, I will spend the rest of my life helping others with it. And that will be my ministry. Whether you want to be a churchy kind of guy or not, that's why I do this. I live my life like this because it's my promise. And I'm telling you, I am continuously blessed. Whether you want to say I'm great or you love or appreciate what I do, it doesn't matter. It does not matter whether you do that to me or not, because I know what he does in my personal life. Without him, nothing I put my hands to will work. Nothing. My health would fail. My mental faculties would evaporate. Cars, homes, money, all that stuff can change. Like Job. It can happen to that. And guess what? I don't care if he takes all of it, because my relationship with him is the most important. I've tasted wealth. I've tasted rich. I've tasted more money than I'd ever spent in my entire life. And I can tell you, if I didn't have Jesus Christ in my life, I would be miserable. And if that bothers you, unsubscribe. Because I'm going to tell you, the more times I talk like this, I'm going to talk about him. And if that ruffles your feathers, I'm sorry. Oh, this guy talking like a sailor, he's going to bring Jesus up. I'm a sinner. I am a sinner. I'm not perfect, folks, but my heart is right. And what I'm trying to do, I'm looking out for all of you. And the only way I can, I have something that I've been blessed with. And I believe that if he didn't want me doing this, he would shut it down. He would not let other people find success in it. And guess what? They're doing it. And that inspires me. That gives me fuel to keep doing this. When you show appreciation, understand this. And I'm so tired of saying this. I see every comment. It only takes a second for me to scroll through, and I'm not reading every single word, but I'm getting the gist of what you're saying, especially the long ones. I don't have time to sit and look through all of it. But usually people say, oh man, thank you. You're the GOAT. Stop calling me a GOAT. Stop calling me a king. Just say thanks. I appreciate what you've done. And you know what? It means so much to me. I am not this little pathetic little man child out there that needs to be called the GOAT. I don't need any of you to tell me what I'm giving you is gold. I know it. It's been in my hands for 30 years. And I love that he makes it possible that I can share this with all of you. I'm such a privileged person to be able to do this and live my life doing it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I live, eat, sleep, breathe this. I love it. It is absolutely, I am the embodiment of whatever a mentor would ever want to be and should be. I'm living it. I'm not taking anything from you. I'm pouring myself into you. I'm pouring it. I'm not reserving it. I'm laying it in your hands. The only thing I want you to do is be real with it. And when I ask other people to credit me, guess what that's doing? And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to close it. I don't want you fluffing me up, because when you all hear who the source is, and it takes you right back to me, guess who gets the credit? Not me. Jesus Christ is the one that opened my eyes to all this stuff. With him, I was able to figure this stuff out. And in time, I'll probably give you more testimony to how all these things happen. And you're probably not going to believe any of it, but I don't care. Okay? I don't care if you believe it. But some of you want to know, and I'll share it. But I don't care if you believe it, because it doesn't change the facts. It is what it is. And you may be an atheist. You may be someone of another religion. I'm not religious. I don't have a religion. I'm not here to try to convert anybody, because that doesn't work. Unless the Spirit of God draws a man, that's it. So if I say, because I believe, and you're offended by that, well, that's a character flaw on your part. Because you tune in to me because you want to know my perspective. What am I thinking? Why do I feel a certain way about something? Why do I look at something as an opportunity, and what makes it not an opportunity? And how did I get to this understanding? Where did I come from? What did I go through? What did I have to endure? And what was my source of strength, encouragement? I've told you. And some of you aren't going to accept that. That's fine.